Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Seercast. We are back after a little bit of a layoff, and today we are going to be talking about a few of the things from October, as well as looking at the month of November, taking a look at the November BTS. I am ePiKnight, and with me today is Liem.
Hi, I'm here today. It's cold outside.
Okay. Geena?
I don't have anything clever to say.
Okay. Geena?
Still waiting for the real rite of passage.
Runic?
I can't eat a goby. This is a problem.
And Walter's in the chat. So we have a small crew today. We're just gonna kind of talk about some of the little stuff that has come out in the past. So beginning with speaking of little stuff, we'll begin with the Call of the Ancestors quest, which was a novice level bottle quest released towards the end of last month. And was it last month or was it 2 months ago? I can't even remember.
No, it was last month.
Okay, it was last month.
It was last month, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was mid last month. Anyways.
It was since our last podcast is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, we talked about it before. It was fun. I mean, it was really small. So, like, the biggest issue I think we all had was that it felt like it just began, and then it's over.
Yeah, it really, like, it's probably because we're, I don't know, spoiled from quest releases where they're like monster quests and they go on and you're doing this and this and this and this and this and this and this. But this one was okay, you start, you do a little thing, you move on, you do another little thing, and then you spam click on the ground, and then it's over.
Well, I mean, like, I don't think that it's just like we've been spoiled, although we have been kind of spoiled about quests.
We've been spoiled.
It's just that, like, we just get to the interesting plot point, and then it's over. And we have to wait for the next quest to come out. It felt like we had half a quest.
Yeah.
But it was a nice quest. We had a lot of nice character development, and the mechanics were nice.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that. If you're a frequent Seercast viewer, especially probably not recently, but definitely over the past couple years, I've praised the mechanics of Salt in the Wound quite a few times. This was very similar, except more modernized and a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah.
With the exception of trying to click on gobies through walls, that was a pain. But, you know, I guess you can't have everything.
I mean, like, the mechanics in Salt in the Wound were great. The dialogue sucked, and the story did too. But
the lore and the story was an epic failure, and everybody acknowledges this.
But the mechanics were wonderful, and this one had even better mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that.
Yeah. So we're talking about the puzzle where you're controlling the three gobies, and they do different things, and you have to use them in a specific order, in a specific way to get the puzzles done, to find their way through. One thing that Walter mentioned in the thread that I never thought about while doing the quest is that the adventurer, the player character, is not needed literally at all after the first dialogue.
Yeah, we're just along for the ride.
And it's to the point where removing the player character actually would have benefited the quest. Again, I never thought about this while actually doing the quest, but looking back on it, you're just like, okay, so the player character, you introduce the gobies. Okay, the gobies do their thing. The player character goes, takes them to the ancient.
And don't forget, one of them just stabs the other with a pickaxe, and that was hilarious.
Oh,
that
right.
Was the best part of the quest.
I know. I listened to the screaming audio track on loop for quite a while.
Somehow I am not surprised.
The best part about that was, do you feel any lighter, though?
Yeah, that was interesting, to say the least. I was like, oh, jeez. Just running around in circles. It's exactly what you'd expect from that, too. Like, just like randomly running around in circles with the audio going in and out. It's like,
yeah.
oh, jeez. But yeah, like the character, you guide them through the Nemi Forest to the Ancient, but then after that, literally the player character is not needed at all. So it actually breaks up the quest to keep reintroducing the player character to go do more to start the different phases of the puzzle.
I mean, I suppose the Gobies need a babysitter, but
maybe.
Like they kind of do, because otherwise, like one of them would stab the other with like a pickaxe through the eye.
But they did that already when we were there.
It was fine. Like,
it's gonna be fine. There's nothing wrong. But yeah, and so that's a thing. I liked that there is a spirit turtle guy thing there. What the name is Zinocto.
The Earth element.
Zinocto.
Shinocto.
Oh.
Yeah.
I still love that name.
But yeah.
Shiraki says hi in the chat, but he's currently working. Anyways,
he is here for the podcast. Anyways, go on.
So Walter writes here that the bottle quests can work, but I feel like this quest didn't really do what a bottle quest should have done, because it kind of cuts off at the very end, and then you go, all right, that was fun, and then you don't think about it again.
Yeah, some of the what they mentioned at RuneFest about bottle quests is that they're short, condensed, like character development stories. So you're building a character. But what happens in this one is that there's so little dialogue between the player and the Gobies themselves that there's very little actual character development. So you don't really know anything about the three Gobies. We know that Tunks likes exploring, Peck wants to be bigger, and Lunch likes to lift things. I mean, that doesn't make a good character, or like a rounded character.
Like, it's not as much condensed as it is portioned.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be another quest. It's just cut off.
Yeah. It's just that there needed to be more dialogue between the characters of the quest. And like I appreciate that we could ask Zinocto like a lot of things, and we could talk to him a bunch, but the quest wasn't about him. At least I don't think it was. I mean, maybe it was, and we just have the complete wrong idea of all of this. But
like the quest wasn't long enough for us to tell what it was about.
Yeah, which is a problem. But at the same time, it's a quest, so it's like,
Overall, it was fun. It was just more forgettable than a forgettable tale of a drunken dwarf.
Yeah. I was really just kind of expecting bottle quests, and I still am in the future, to just kind of be like old school quests, you know? From like the good old days.
Except like the shorter
2007 area. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, but when we say old school quest now, the first thing that pops into my mind is One of a Kind, because that's what that one was designed to do. But that one's still a very large quest, just in a different light.
Like that is an old school quest in that it was in an old school fashion. It wasn't on an old school budget. I don't really want an old school quest on an old school budget, because when I think about that, you get like
Doric's Quest.
No, not Doric's Quest. Hero's Quest, and I hate.
Oh God,
Hero's
that one's
Quest
bad
so
too.
Much.
Or Sheep Shearer.
That one's not bad because it is a fetch quest, but at least the item you're fetching is right there. You're not like thrown up the creek without a paddle,
like
and then
Imp Catcher,
and then ask to like stuff your dive in the water, wrestle a crocodile, but you have to you have to come up with that yourself.
Like Imp Catcher.
Yeah, like Imp Catcher or Hero's Quest. I hate Hero's Quest.
Both of those quests were really bad. Heroes and whatever the other one was.
From Nick Trial. From Nick Trial was really bad.
I was talking about the other one that was required co-op. Shield of Arav, I think.
Yeah, it was Shield of Arav.
Yeah. Yeah, those were both. Yeah, so like bottle quests are great as long as they don't look like those. And while I know that they've said that they're never doing anything co-op again because that was not good. Looking back on it, they're like, wow, this is terrible. Why did we do this? But yeah, I just don't want them to the low budget quests to turn out like that. Like if penguins are going to be a bottle quest, I want it to be a good quest. Even if it's short, I want it to be good because penguins.
Yeah.
Then again, Penguin Quest I think is really mostly in the writing. You can get away with like a short, low budget quest for penguins, but you just have to have hilarious writing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
it has to be good writing. Although you can say that about any quest. To be honest, quests are all in the writing. Well, not all in the writing. Mechanics are nice too. I'm just backtracking at this point.
Oh, maybe not. I'd argue that for Broken Home, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
that's what Broken Home was for.
Yes.
Speaking of which,
Oh, are we moving on?
Yes, that is a good segue.
I mean, we might not have been moving on before, but we're moving on now.
We are now.
So, Broken Home, in case anybody has forgotten what Broken Home was, it was last year's, basically a Halloween-ish quest. But
That was amazing.
Modjack promised us a lore book. Eventually, trademark. It is now in-game. We discussed it before, probably when we discussed Broken Home last time, which was about a year ago, after he posted the backstory on the forums. But it finally made its way into the game. It talks about some of the mentally ill issues that were occurring in the Zerosian Empire, and that
this is
the reason the asylum was made.
this is now like my biggest beef with Broken Home, because I feel like the Zerosian Empire is becoming too much like a modern state, because like healthcare wasn't really a concern in like an ancient empire like the Romans or even like the Chinese or something really ancient like that. But suddenly Zeros is like, yeah, we need to come up with some kind of healthcare system so that our humans don't get fucked over for no apparent reason. But of course it's Zero, so he says it in the least helpful way possible.
Since Lime isn't biased at all towards Zeros.
Well, I mean, alright, how was Fix Them helpful?
I mean, it wasn't, but that's not the point.
That is about as helpful as like calling a repair store and saying, my printer is broken, fix it.
Well, I mean, that's what everyone does, right?
No,
Yeah.
I don't. Because I know how annoying it is.
I know.
So we get at least we get to see Nabor, who is a junior Majrat Pontifex, who really doesn't know how to be a Majrat. He really doesn't.
Is he better at
Yeah.
being a Majorat than Khazard?
No, he really isn't.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
He isn't. He dies in like the first battle
Rip.
after failing to build a sanitarium.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they mentioned the sanitarium in the Majorat memories, so like we already knew that this was a thing, and whether
No, they didn't.
yeah, they did.
They mentioned the sanitarium in Majrat Memories.
I'm pretty sure, didn't they?
I don't believe so. They
There's
mentioned like
No, they didn't.
infrastructure. They did mention Nabor as a pontifex, though. We just thought that he was more important, and it turns out he wasn't.
Rip.
Although this is not canon, so he could be important at some point. So it goes more and more about like the prison system and, well, not the prison system, the mental health system, which I still think is a bit too advanced, at least during the late Second Age. I could see it more as being like a mid-Third Age thing.
Well, there
But not
wasn't
like-
anything in the mid-Third Age except for a whole bunch of craters.
Well, I mean, like, Sentistan
Yeah,
still stood
and war
until
camps.
way late into the...
Well, yeah, I
Third
know,
Age.
but you know what I mean. It's just the war consumed everything, except for Prif. Even it, well, it didn't exactly hit Prif.
I don't think it hit Karamja too much either.
Yeah, because Karamja still has 2003 graphics.
Yeah, that nobody was able to pay the toll to get across.
Right.
Yeah,
that
they
too.
just weren't able to cross.
I do like one bit of the lore tome is Chewie's wholly absorbed personality disorder was without precedent among the Chthonians. He was the most difficult inmate. He frequently murdered and consumed fellow inmates and staff during tantrums.
Yeah,
Nom,
I can see that.
nom,
But-
nom.
No.
Of course, it was the Zerosian Empire, so it was completely corrupt. And this Chthonian demon was given leniency.
Of course.
Anyways, that was a relatively minor thing that happened this month.
Just one of the
But
cool
it was
things
nice.
that we see
Yeah.
that it's like, oh, that's nice to see in the game.
Anyways, let's
Especially
move on
after being
to
promised it a year ago. But yeah, go on.
let's move on to the invasion of Falador, which is my favorite update that happened because it was probably my it was one of the better world events. And I feel like part of the reason of that is that you didn't have any gods in it. Which
that was,
I know is
that was helpful.
yeah, like it wasn't weighed down by the fact that it's God versus God. This was straight up Black Knights versus White Knights. It also had a ton of old Faradorn lore, which will really help in like any developments we want to do with King Valens and like the whole Black Knight versus White Knight conflict. Once again, Walter notes that Lord Dacarius is very, very well written, and I agree.
It is.
He is.
Yep.
But throughout this event, you can see. I should probably go into the premise first. The event is behind the Black Knights trying to raid Falador in order to get an artifact called the Banner of Faradorn. You get a small mini quest about going through the. I keep saying that. A small mini quest about going through all of Falador in a somewhat one small favorite like fashion, but it's not as annoying.
Significantly less annoying because it was all in one place.
Yeah. So you're tracking down the Banner of Faradorn, which had a really, really weird path of where it could have gone. And eventually we get to it in the Dwarven Mines.
The hardest part about that mini quest was finding that was like, okay, so we need the Herald of Falador. Where is that? Then you wander around and you find it and you go, oh, okay. And then the next place, yeah.
Yeah, there are so many herald type peoples that
It really
like,
helped you.
who sells the cape.
Yeah.
It really helped you explore New Falador, though, and I liked that.
Yeah, it was a good ulterior motive.
In addition, they also bring up the concept of the chosen one of Falador, which is it's a really interesting. Like, it will help revitalize the series because you get a real Joan of Arc type vibe from that, and with Falador and Asgarnia being all bogged down in all the White Knight versus Black Knight and Prince Anlaf politics and so forth. It really helps you think that there is going to be a major change in Asgarnia, and you're going to be a part of it, but you're not going to be the center of it.
Which is nice for a change.
Yes.
Yep.
I really want another major Temple Knight quest.
I do. Like, the Temple Knights are a great organization, and like the knightly orders as a whole are fantastic, in my opinion.
Was this the event where they basically said we can't give you this because we don't trust you, or we don't?
It was the one where it said we can't give you this because you are too busy saving the world to deal with being king.
Oh, that's right.
Or
That's
queen.
right.
You can't do it, even though we're already running.
It's like we would throw this city at you, but
You're too busy.
you have other better things to do.
To be fair, from the state of my Miscellanea kingdom, they're correct.
I know, right?
We went bankrupt 2 years ago.
Yeah. I should probably go and check on those guys. They probably
I've
hate
left
me.
for a while. I wonder how bad it is.
But then I'll just do 5 minutes of work and then they'll love me again and
It'll be
whatever.
great.
Yeah.
Throw some cash at them.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Falador Massacre is now canon, which is great because it's like acknowledging a big part of RuneScape history. And then you get a bunch of Radolin lore along with another little part of the event, which is the Lost Sword of Rattlin event. And this was kind of microtransaction-y, but it was kind of not. You were able to do it without doing microtransactions, and to be honest, this was a great part of the event, in my opinion, because A, the Sword of Rattlin is fantastic. B, you get a ton of lore, and you get a little decision in there, which is kind of cool, where you try and see if you can give the letter to somebody else, and then they copy it, and it adds some intrigue to the whole, are the White Knights legitimately in power, and so forth. What do you guys think about that? Like, are the White Knights legitimate?
I missed that part of the event, so I can't help you.
Like, wait, they're going to take away my original papers and replace them with some stupid copy? Forget it.
I did do that. I actually did do that.
So it looks like Walter didn't turn them in. Lime, you did turn them in?
I did turn them
I
in.
just straight up didn't get
I
them.
didn't turn them in.
Also,
All right.
I guess you're the only one that turned them in. I guess.
am, but there was no change in the document. It's just that it's now deniable if Redolin actually did write that. And to be fair, I think the White Knights are legitimately the protectors of Falador at this point after the War of 164. So I think they should be in power.
It seems like almost de facto at this point, though. Like, at a certain point, yeah, people are gonna complain about, is such and such legit, but at a certain point, it really is like, all right, you're here,
But
doing
more
this
than
stuff.
like, I've seen some players say that, oh, the Black Knights should be in power of the the Black Knights should be in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say they had the right to be up until the War of 164 when they attacked Falador. And once
Yeah.
they did that, they lost all legitimacy, and
That's
the White
the
Knights are the true protectors.
That's well, no, this one's the Siege of Falador. It's the Betrayal of Falador or whatever, right? That's
Yeah.
the 164?
Yeah, this was
Yeah,
in
it's
the
a
Betrayal
novel.
of Falador.
Yeah, because that's what this event does, is it basically canonizes the novel.
Yeah, and the Falador Massacre.
Mhm.
But that's my opinion on it. After the Black Knights attacked Falador and are now working against the civilians and are like ransacking the city, they're not legitimate, and they should not be allowed in Falador politics.
Yeah. But that's why Dequarius wasn't there, is because he didn't want them to like go and ransack the city. He just wanted to.
Yeah, they're even less legitimate now.
He was just like, I don't. What was the exact quote was something along the lines of, "I'm not here I want to be here in person, but I'm afraid that if I am here in person, they'll go overboard with power or whatever, and so
Yeah, like they'll just he wants
they'll
like this.
burn the city."
He wants this whole charade to end because like it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is stupid in his opinion, which it kind of was. Yeah, they'll try to impress him. He doesn't want to like legitimize the Black Knights attacking, like all of them gung ho and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't want innocents to be hurt. This was between Black Knights and White Knights, not between Black Knights and all of Falador.
Yeah. Which is what it was under Sulla. It was what it was under a whole bunch of Black Knight commanders. And it just goes to show Decarius' character.
Mhm.
That he is a noble person in charge of an ignoble society.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to like lead them to being...
Dequarius is a very, very well written character. Just
Yeah.
very, very well written. Alright. But yeah, so in the event, you did stuff, you got little pets, the Black and White Knight pets.
They're great.
Because why not?
One of them is all proper, and the other one's he's
A Black
cockney.
Knight. But yeah,
I haven't even talked to them yet. Wow.
yeah, I never talked to mine, but
You terrible people.
I
Also, you get this.
I didn't have time to get these rewards. I was just like, oh god, I better get them ASAP.
Yeah,
and
seriously so busy that I'm
Yeah.
surprised I managed to do the sword part.
it's been a busy month.
It was super AFK if you did, though.
From the sword, it was great. Like, the sword is a fantastic thing. I love being able to wield the shields of Arav in one hand and the sword of Radlin in the other one.
Isn't that somewhat lore faily?
No, it has a real Zelda feel to it.
Well, it might have a Zelda feel to it, but yeah. The Black Knight has a Pokemon reference.
Oh dear.
But yeah, so there's that stuff. The actual event itself was pretty straightforward. You either punch a catapult or you kill Black Knights or White Knights. Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. Took a few hours to get the rewards. The rewards were RNG, but reasonable RNG. So, yeah, that's a thing. It's pretty quick to do, but as a whole, it was fairly short. So, we can move on from here and talk about the actual Halloween event, which is the Gauntlet of Souls, which was adapted from Cinderquill's idea on Rune Labs that won the poll. It is the Amascut versus Icthlaren. It's not a world event,
idea.
But
it's a seasonal event.
The seasonal event. That's the best way of putting it. Where Icthlaren is trying to stop Amascut, who is, as always, mad with power, from destroying. Is it destroying the bridge, or what is?
Just like the concept behind it is that after Tuska landed, like there were a bunch of semi-digested souls that were part of her anima that she spilled out.
Yeah.
And this has caused a massive influx into the Gilnorian afterlife, which is kind of weird. So now Amascut is trying to devour all these souls, and Icthlaren is like sprawling to like battle her down.
Mm-hmm.
So now we need to help out Icthlaren, who is trying to bring these souls to the Gilnorian afterlife.
Yeah, and so Amascut is set up with a bunch of Devourer beasts and a big mini boss thing at the end of the bridge across Numenon, and it is your job as the adventurer to go out in the boats and collect a bunch of souls and then escort them over to the end of the bridge for passage into the afterlife. So this is the basic overview of the event. Some of the rewards were pretty interesting. A couple gravestones. You have the herb cleaner or something along those lines?
The herb burner.
Herb burner, that's right. Which basically, instead of cleaning your herbs, burns them for a little bit more XP. And then, but it doesn't do it automatically, so it's.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting my 15.
Yeah, I didn't really go for any of the rewards. I thought they're all kind of.
I wanted the cat, so.
I got the cat and I got the gravestones, and that's nice. I like the gravestones.
The way I see it is, I have a Zeru gravestone. There's no reason for me to use any other. So yeah.
Well, I'm getting all the gravestones.
I've got the Icthlaren gravestone because all hail King Itchy.
All hail King Itchy indeed.
But saying that, I have a bit of a bone to pick with the dialogue in this event, and I already told you guys about it. I feel like Icthlaren, he lore failed in this. Like, he contradicted himself from a while ago.
He lore failed himself.
And that's because he mentions he did. He mentions that he thinks that Timikin perished out during the battle versus the Majrat. But earlier on, he said that his father wasn't dead; he was merely resting. So I don't really know which it is. Is Timikin actually dead, or is he just resting, or is he someplace in between? Because Icthlaren, he says it both ways.
I would, from what I've heard, and from what I've read, it seems like it's somewhere in the middle. It seems like it's very similar to the Zeros situation, where he's not alive per se, but he's not dead, and he's just kind of drifting around somewhere elsewhere.
I liken it more to Saren, but then again, Icthlaren just straight up says, "Oh, he perished at the battle, and I'm so full of pride of what my father did on that day."
Well, I mean, maybe it's. And when you're a god, there's also an aspect of like physically perishing versus your soul or your whatever perishing, because
But that only happens if you're a tier 2 god or like a really high level god. So
wasn't
if that were the
Chumekin
case,
actually extremely powerful at that time?
well,
Though?
apparently he from what we've seen on the graphs or like the tables, he was not nearly as powerful
he
as any
wasn't.
other god. But I have been thinking that could only be now, and Chumekin used to be incredibly powerful, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
still thinking. But then again, like Zeros didn't drop too many levels after his death, and that's in air quotes. I just did that physically.
This quote unquote
Um,
death. Yeah.
So it's in a really weird situation, and I'd like that to be cleared up. Also, I want to know where Elidnus is.
I mean, yeah, because
We're missing a hippo.
the thing is, where Saren shattered herself, it's similar, because that's what Chumekin basically did, is that he split himself into demigods, is what he ended up doing.
And he did it explosively.
He did it extremely explosively. And
He
of this,
wrecked the Majrat. It
of
was
this
great.
I approve. I even though it was against Zeros, I approve of the explosive splitting, I guess you could call it.
Wow.
The nuclear reaction.
Yeah. But it is interesting that well, I think Lime mentioned before the podcast that it's like Itchy has multiple developer disorder, but
Yeah.
it's the same developer.
So it's kind of in a weird place, and I want that cleared up. And I also want to know where Elidnus is,
Yes.
because like we have been without her for too long.
Indeed. Okay. Yeah, but I mentioned that. Oh, this event has a lot of really good dialogue with a couple other characters. One that I don't know if anybody was expecting to be in this event, and that is Necrovarius.
No, they told us that he was in
Oh,
here.
he was? I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting it. I was like, wait, what? He's there?
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, he's there. He's there just hanging out. But they also talk to a former high priest of Amiscut,
Yes, Ka.
Ka, who was reincarnated as a cat, which is apparently the
It's
go-to
apparently-
reincarnation thing for humans.
It's a go-to. Yeah, it's the go-to for desert humans. Which I guess it's because cats don't have souls, so it's easy to just give them. And I can say that because Kitten is not here.
Even if Kitten was here, we could say that.
Cats are gingers confirmed.
God damn it, cats. But it wasn't. But Ka didn't just say desert humans. It just said humans in general. Generally, if they're reincarnated, they come back as cats. I mean, the easiest one to see is Robert the Strong. I mean,
Yeah, Robert the Strong. I forgot about that example temporarily. Walter is apparently about to explain something.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Itchy is
you
terrible
better
at the
shut
job.
You shut your mouth.
You shut. Oh, jeez. Oh, Itchy is terrible at the job and makes them in the form of his sister since he has issues. Walter, please.
I won't deny that he has issues.
I mean, it is impossible to have a job escorting the dead to the underworld and not have issues. Let's be honest. But yeah.
Also, he has a lot of guilt riding on him as well.
Bob the Cat's resurrection was different though because he made use of a ritual to halt the time of his rebirth to a set year. He also wasn't linked to Itchy's battle against Amiscut and his memory was lost. Or as he wasn't linked, his memory was lost, which is why he's like,
Shiraki says that we should have let him be burned by Dragonfire. I say that we should burn Shiraki with Dragonfire.
Dragonkin fire, not just dragon fire.
Dragonkin fire.
It's all Dragonfire.
No, Dragonkin fire is worse.
I would say Dragonkin fire is probably worse. I mean, we don't say random dragon fireball, we say random dragonkin fireball.
Yeah, huge difference there.
I mean, like, come on, Lime.
And since he's not in the call, I'm just typing that back. But anyways,
Good. Oh look, he's in the call.
oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Shraki, you better shut up.
Certain people do see Ka as a giant lore fail because of their view of events. Because their view of events seem to contrast with Naidi's view of events. Naidi also being a reincarnated human.
Amascut, priest,
Yep.
test, person.
Yep. This is what the lore regarding the fall of Amascut's priestesses is, if you consider the statements of both as true. So yeah, but what happened with the priestesses is that when Amascut broke, finally from, I believe it was from Tumeken's death,
Yeah. Actually, there's another thing. Like, we don't really know what exactly set Amascut off. If it was, like, seeing the Majrat's betrayal, or some people suspect that it was seeing Ma, or if it was Tumeken's death. Well, death in quotation marks.
Well,
From what's kind of being gathered, though, that
jeez.
Shraki,
sorry.
shut up.
That's me. Okay.
That is
Yeah, it's
that
you.
is Shiraki, and that was loud, and I'm sorry, people.
We apologize to any headphone users.
Rip ear users.
I'm using headphones right now.
Anyways, Shiraki, go on and try and not blow our ears off.
I think we may have made Shiraki upset. His profile picture right now is so sad.
Rip. Oh well. Well, anyways, to go online.
He shouldn't have insulted Tumeken. What was I saying? Ah, God. What was I saying?
You're talking about the Amascut, the straw to break Amascut's back.
We don't really know what exactly made Amascut lose her mind. Was it like seeing Ma, which we think she could have done, or if it was Tumeken's death, or if it was the betrayal of the Majrat,
But
or if it
seems
was just like the taxations of her job.
in terms of timelines, it's unlikely to be Ma, because they went to Frenesque multiple times, right? And
No, only the once.
they only
because
went
Frenesque-
once.
Frenesque then promptly decided to, like, erupt,
No.
and then they beat a hasty retreat.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, I mean, either way, I don't... So they went to Frenesque, they convinced the Majrat to leave and help them. But then after that, the Majrat came back and did help them until Slisky said, hey, maybe we'll go help these guys over here. But there's time in between those two. And I don't think the timeline would be fitting for Ma being the reason.
I suppose. But it's still very, like, nebulous.
Mm. It could easily be the other two, though, because the Majrat defecting and Tumeken's death were very close to each other.
Shiraki says that, from what he gathers, it was a combination of all of it, and Tumeken's death was the camel straw of... He phrased that in the worst way.
Was it the straw
It's the
that
straw
broke
that
the
broke
camel
the
stack?
Yes.
The camel
The straw
stack.
that broke the camel's back.
No, the camel
No, the
stack.
camel stack.
The straw that
That
broke
was-
the camel stack.
That was a good event.
That was a great event.
Anyways, we've talked a bunch about this. The last thing that we have to note about the last thing we have to note about the event was that we discovered that the god of the underworld and like the god of resurrection, they were was a punishment set upon by Tumeken. And we don't really know what Ictharan or Amascut did. But then he sent them to guard the underworld, to learn the error of their ways and teach responsibility, which makes Tumeken Dad of the Year. Of course, Dad of the Year about like 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while back.
He's got the coffee cup.
But yeah, so I think that covers everything we wanted to mention about the Halloween event. I mean, we could mention more about the mechanics, but let's just put it this way, it's very straightforward. You gather the souls, and then you divination your way across you divination/rune span your way across the
Bridge.
bridge. So yeah, and then we talked about rewards.
Yeah. People were complaining about the event a bunch because to them it didn't really feel Halloween like.
Yeah.
It really isn't. It's Halloween like in that it's affiliated with souls and death, but beyond that, it's not like a fun event. It's a very grim event.
Mm-hmm.
Although I still think it was better than the Ghostbusters thing.
Yeah. Well, the
I
Ghostbusters
don't
was
even-
just a
that- that's
huge
the last
pile
time.
of spam.
Yeah, it didn't really have anything around it.
And not spam in the Geena kind of way, just spam as in the let's pile 2,000 people into one world. Nobody can render anything outside of the square next to them. And just spam click the whatever the things were, the ghosts, to death. And
Well, I mean, it was a true horror story for Walter.
indeed. But
It was.
yeah. Oh, I do want to mention the rewards. A lot of the complaining was because of a buff that they gave to the rewards. Well, they were complaining before the buff. But originally, you were only getting about 1,100 per cycle, and that is 2 sets of souls moved through, and then the boss, and so 1,100 points. So it'd take about 8 hours to get everything. Compared to after the buff, it takes where you get about 1,500 a cycle. It takes less than 6. So that difference between 6 and 8 hours is obviously significant, and is a relevant complaint for people to have for an event kind of that was. I don't want to liken it to Livid Farm, but it kind of turns into that after the first couple times through. Just like going
just
through the
grindy.
same pattern and very, very grindy.
But the lore is great.
Yeah. The lore is very good. Also, free-to-play people can get a Caridian cat for 10,000 favor, which
Yep.
is nice. But yeah,
It's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. And it does not work in cat quests, which
but they can't
Yeah.
talk to the cat, which is
yeah, they
a
can't
shame.
talk to the cat.
But they can have the cat,
I guess that's good enough.
I guess. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the Halloween event. So we're going to move on into the November BTS, which is a whole large pile of combat. So after I introduce
Yeah,
the
I
stuff, that is your job, Runic. But so the first thing,
Okay.
well, aside from Chronicle, which is being released, the beta is being released near the end of the month.
It's a closed beta.
Yeah, so the beta is being released for Chronicle near the end of the month, but we don't have much to say on that. But Raptor's Challenge, which is like a bonus Slayer monster thing, is Slayer Master, was released along with new Slayer monsters, the Wyverns, Wyverns, whatever you want to call them. Also, Defenders are becoming useful. So, Runic.
Take it away.
Okay, here we go. So, since EOC, Defenders have basically been terrible.
Yep.
Well,
I seem to
they're-
remember a certain Lime had a long rant right before EOC about how to make Defenders useful, right?
Wait,
Yeah.
I did?
Yes, you did.
What did I
Anyhow.
say?
I
Was
don't
it Was it
remember.
intelligent? I hope it was
Probably
intelligent.
not, but
God damn it. Oh,
We'll
sorry.
find out.
anyways,
Anyhow.
go on.
So I think it's a Ninja team. They've finally gotten around to making some well-needed improvements to Defenders, honestly. The first improvement is that I'll start. Defenders will now be going up to tier 90. So we will have Barrows Defenders, Zerite Defenders, and Drygore Defenders. In October, we're getting melee versions, and they've said they want to release magic and ranged versions at a later date. So, like January, I guess. Anyhow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Defenders are getting a pretty major buff. You will be able to use both shield and dual wield abilities with them.
Ooh, that is pretty major.
Yeah, right off the bat, that is pretty major.
And that makes sense though. Like defenders are kind of a mixture of both, with
Yeah.
not the defensive capabilities of the shields, obviously, but with a more offensive ability that a dual wield has, just not quite to the same extent.
Yes, they've said that each will have an armor rating and damage about half of its equivalent main hand. So a tier 90 Drygor defender is going to have about half the damage of an offhand Drygor weapon.
Which makes sense.
On top
Yeah.
of that, and this is a little known fact, defenders also have a damage reduction, like War Priest.
Well, that makes sense because it's you being used to defend.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a parrying dagger.
yeah, pretty much. So, right off the bat, defenders are just getting some... Yeah, they're becoming very useful very quick.
Wait, wasn't all that what I said should be changed to defenders?
Yeah, I think it
I
was.
don't know. But
Yes!
it was probably something similar to that. I
made
mentioned,
a difference.
3 years later, I mentioned something towards, or soon, I think soon after EOC came out, maybe it was with abilities or with legacy or something like that, where I think that main hand, like the weapon abilities, should all be moved to offhand.
Yeah, the
and so, like, the
specials,
two
yeah.
hand, the God Swords would still have their abilities because God Swords are main and offhand. But, like, it'd be the offhand weapon that you use dictates your special ability, and your main hand gives you your main power. So that brings shields back into play. That brings defenders back into play. So it seems like that's not what they went for here, but
Well, yes, because when you mentioned that, you were talking specifically about special attacks. So,
Yes.
Dragon Claw special attack and stuff. Anyhow, so yeah. So, and another thing is that all the defenders will now have a 3% accuracy buff.
Which is great.
which is nice.
Yeah. Basically, this is going to make DPS tanking a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Assuming
Currently-
you're not terrible,
Assuming you're not terrible.
which I'm
And-
terrible.
I'm also terrible, so I guess it's just fun. I like being terrible.
Yep, being terrible's great.
Yeah, because
and-
then you can just laugh at yourself.
Yeah,
And create death montages and quest things.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and because of the way offhand damage works, you're not actually going to be losing a huge amount when compared to dual wields. So an offhand tier 90 defender will be about the same strength as an offhand dragon dagger, which leads to about 15% damage loss,
Which is
which
pretty
isn't
good.
terrible, especially considering you can now use Revenge, which is a really powerful and now viable shield ability.
Yep. Wait, it counts as a shield for abilities?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. So
That's
you'll be
great.
able to shield
That's-
ability. And, yeah, that's what's making them really powerful.
Yeah, that's
It's
probably
shield
the
and
best
dual
part
wield.
about him.
All right, so as for getting the new defenders, you're going to have to start with a dragon defender.
Yeah, you're gonna have to start with the Dragon Defender, and then I believe you upgrade it, right?
Yeah, so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take your dragon defender to barrows, normal barrows, not rots. And from there, you will have to basically farm the barrow chest until you get a special item of some sort.
Good thing I have 12 dragon defenders.
Yep.
Yeah, I have like 9.
I
They're-
can't
they're
remember if I might have destroyed all of mine.
They're a placeholder in my bank. They're a tab thing in my bank. So yeah, I've got a pile
Yeah.
of them.
I'll dredge through my bank and see if I've got any.
So, and then once you get this item, which is supposedly a fairly rare drop, you will have to combine it with one of the barrow's melee weapons. So, Torag's hammer, Darok's axe, Guthan spear, Varak's flail, and then you'll have your barrow's defender. At this point, you go to next, and that's the following.
Hello, this is Seercast. Press 1 for lore. I'm sorry, I just don't get to say that too often.
Yeah.
It's like an auto reaction for all of us.
Yeah.
Anyways, go on.
All right. So then so at this point you go to next, and you have to get a special drop from next, which is also fairly rare, and combine it with this thing called the Chaotic Splint, which is a new Dungeoneering award that's going to be coming out with the update, and you'll get a tier 80 defender.
So this is literally level up your defender.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
literally level up your defender.
to begin with, it was level up your defender because you needed a
Yeah.
bronze defender in order to get an iron defender,
Yeah.
and then an iron defender in order to get a steel defender. Which is why you always keep the the rune defender, so you could get another dragon defender should you lose it.
Well, once you got your first dragon defender, usually you got multiple because the dragon defenders will count as everything below it.
Yeah.
So you could get it back. That's why I have 12 of them.
Yeah, that's what I was doing this morning, actually. Farming some more dragon defenders. Anyhow, at this point, this is where it gets elitist, basically. Now
Yay!
you have to go, yay, elitism. Now you have
This
to
is
go
where it
farm,
gets ridiculous.
farm KK for a special item drop from the KK called a Perfect Chitin. And you will combine this with your tier
Chitin.
80 defender and an offhand Drygor.
Okay.
And you will literally
Yeah,
sink
alright.
that offhand Drygor out of the game. And you get your tier 90 defender like that.
Well, at least they're sinking items out of the game.
Well, yeah, the problem is that this Perfect Chitin is going to be so rare that you're going to be injecting quite a few, you're going to inject quite a few Drygors into the game before you get one.
Well, items.
Yes.
Items, man. Alright. So
that's pretty much it. It's worth noting, and they've said that they're going to be doing magic and range defenders, and they released some concept art for that. And these defenders will be made the same way, except that when you make the Barrow's defender, you will use an Aram staff and get a magic tier 70 defender, and you will use a Carol's crossbow to get a magic, tier 70 defender. And then
you
at
just,
tier 90, and this is very elitist, at tier 90, to make your tier 90 magic defender, you need to combine it with an offhand with a seismic singularity.
Panic Cell Wands.
that
and
is
an offhand ascension.
that is a
I have gotten my ascension. I've gotten my offhand ascension now before the price spike.
Buy them quick, because these are coming out right around invention, which will
And that
hopefully
has
sink
been-
some of them as well.
that has been your Grand Exchange market update.
Your Seercast market watch. But yeah, and the thing about is it so? Are the magic and ranged ones, the magic and ranged special defender things, are they? Is it the chitin still, or is it going to be something that is dropped from?
It's still going to be the chitin, the chitin.
Chitin, yeah.
Yeah, it's chitin.
I call it
So-
chitin.
It looks like chitin. It's chitin though.
In
Now
any
it's-
event, you're gonna end up doing KK.
It's
Like,
kit.
you're just going to end up doing that.
But why I was asking that is because if you're going to KK for those things, the price of melee weapons is going to go way down. Price of those other two is going to skyrocket
Yep.
because
yeah.
you get the offhand. You're likely to get an offhand Drygor from farming for the chitin. You're not going to get an offhand ascension bow from farming for it. You're not going to get a singularity from from farming for it. So yeah, so what we're saying is if you don't know and you want one of these magic and ranged defenders, get your
Buy
stuff
now. Now.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm stockpiling PVM cash at the moment.
Also,
for this
send your Drygors.
reason.
Sell your Drygors.
Also, never mind. I got my offhand ascension just because I'm like, I need this. I don't need the defender, but I need this. So
In any event, let's move on to pretty much the focal point of this month. The Slayer, the Raptor Slayer challenge.
yes.
Yeah, it's worth yeah. So you've got 4 new monsters. The
That will
first
be
of
coming
which-
out weekly.
Yeah, weekly. So one every week, which I'm going to kind of segue here. I really like that they've done it as a weekly thing.
Yeah, they built an event around it. The
Yeah.
Raptor Slayer Challenge, which I'm too newbie to be able to do, but
Yep, same.
I will watch in the background.
I will watch and laugh as people get shredded
Yes.
Yeah.
and complain about wyverns hitting for 3,500 apiece.
Okay, no, that's not the wyverns. That's the mammoths, which I will talk about. But,
Oh, whatever. Same damn thing.
but yeah, these are very high-level mobs, as evidenced by the wyverns that have already come out, and people have discovered that the best method is to kill them with a shield.
The gasp.
You can't dual wield these, or you can, but it's difficult.
You don't have to use the stupid elemental shields for these, do you?
No.
Okay,
no.
thank
You-
God.
Because you can use the Wine-Fire potion.
The Wormfire.
Wormfire potion.
Oh, right. Oh, right, that's a thing.
Yeah,
those...
that came out with Prif. Nobody used it because nobody killed wyverns who could access Prif.
Yeah.
So now they will kill wyverns. Or wyverns.
Yes. Anyhow, so
Worms.
the wyverns, evidently...
Skeletal dragon things.
Yes. They've already come out as of recording this podcast.
Yes.
I'm not going to go too in-depth into the mechanics here, but needless to say, they are quite good. They're difficult. They're a difficult fight, and they require smart use of defensive abilities and stuns to kill effectively, which is very unique for a Slayer monster and has caused some rage.
It's almost like a mini boss.
It's almost
It really
like,
is.
It's almost like you need to be good at combat.
Yes.
It's
yes,
almost like you need to be competent at the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
God forbid. They are all, also, before we go any further, all of the new critters require level 96 Slayer. So, these are as high level as it gets.
Yeah. Until
Yeah.
you have a level 99 Slayer monster,
And
which is
before
going to
max level 120.
Anyways.
And considering that, I'm just saying that they said at RuneFest that Slayer to 120 was a very popular thing on the survey, we might be getting that. I'm just saying.
No.
It's actually probably one of the easier skills to populate to 120 though, with
Yeah,
stuff,
it really is.
because you're going to continue adding more Slayer monsters. Like it's just part of the natural progression of combat.
Game.
So, that's
But let's focus on these Slayer
But yeah.
monsters for the time being.
All right. Anyhow, back on topic. So yes, the wyverns have turned out really nicely, and I know Walter has a few rants of those. We'll save those for the end of the month when we recap all of them.
agreed.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so the wyverns drop a level 85 crossbow that has an effect similar to the pre-EOC Royal crossbow.
Which increases damage as
Yeah,
As-
it's an increasing damage over time.
Yep.
And I think this averages out to roughly 200 more damage every game tick.
Damn. That's good.
That's quite a bit.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
But it's
But it's
again, I'll
85.
rant- It's
Yeah,
85, and I will rant about it at the end of the month. I have some stuff to say about that. But anyway,
What we're saying is tune in next time.
tune
yes.
in next time for rants.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's what we're good
And
at.
then, is it next week that we're getting the penguins?
No, it's literally the day after tomorrow we are getting the Ripper Demons.
Oh,
Which
Ripper
are-
Demons.
Which are definitely penguins.
Well,
Yes.
well, yes, they are.
Of course.
But Ripper Demons, I was also excited about these ones because in the BTS it said that they will be jumping out of hiding places and then like shanking you.
Yeah.
Like surprise.
The yeah, apparently they will have a mechanic which the lower your HP goes, the more aggressive they will become and the harder they will hit.
Ooh.
So you better keep that HP up.
So yes, this looks like one where we'll have to manage our defensives pretty smartly again, and I'm quite excited for this.
It is a shame that you don't need one piercing note for them, though.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't see why you would need one piercing note in order to do them, but like I would see like it's a good piece of Ripper Demon lore.
I know, it's just
I'm
one of those,
honestly
like-
upset that one piercing note isn't a requirement because the biggest part of one piercing note, which is a quest I really like, is that it's a mystery.
And then like you're not
And you're
actually
Mr.
fighting a
And
Ripper
then you
Demon.
don't
No, I
find a
know,
Ripper
but still.
at the end, but it's a very spoilers for the quest, by the way. But there's a mystery around who this killer is, and to have
Yeah.
to have somebody be able to encounter Ripper demons before the quest kind of ruins that, element of it for me, at least.
Yeah.
Because we all know there are like a million high levels out there who just don't do quests.
See max level person with 137 quest points. Yep.
Yep.
Um.
Anyhow,
then-
so these Ripper demons, they will attack with melee, they're weak to magic, and they will drop level 85 dual-wield claws. So a main
Nice.
hand and an offhand. These
So then
claws,
we
Yeah.
too can become the Ripper Demon.
yes, you will
Good.
actually, by the sound of it, you will actually get the exact same passive that they have, which is you'll deal increasing damage the lower your opponent's life points get.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
I like that.
So,
So
yeah,
now-
that's also another interesting one. Now I'll move on to what looks like the derpiest of the bunch,
Rip
the
Lime.
Camel Centaurs.
the Camel Centaurs.
Yeah, they're pretty derpy.
God.
They're
Just
pretty derpy.
Rip Lime.
Just
They're
rip
like
line.
I like the concept art shows him stereotypically smoking a pipe. Like, come on,
Got him.
I love
it's
them.
a camel centaur. I'm not a fan, but it happens.
I can outrun a centaur?
No.
To me-
Camel centaur?
Yeah. To
But
me,
yes.
these ones look the most interesting of the bunch because what they've said they'll do is they'll split into mirages. In other words, they're like basically they're
They're
Yakamaru.
nomads?
No, they're Yakamaru.
They're nomad.
Well, for those of us who haven't done Yakamaru, they're nomads.
Yeah, they're pretty
Okay,
much
fair.
the nomad special attack.
Yeah, they
Um,
have the Nomad special attack. They will attack with all three styles of the combat triangle and use ancient magics. From
Ancient
the video,
what?
yeah, they will be using ancient magics when they use magic.
Huh.
So
Okay.
they'll be
Okay.
healing, reducing your accuracy and defense, and freezing you.
I see. That's
So, yeah,
interesting.
They
They're
look
probably
interest-
what are they gonna drop? Are these the magic ones?
These are the magic ones. They will be dropping a level 85 staff that reduces the accuracy of your opponent.
I need to get one of those.
Which,
Okay.
yeah, looks interesting, but it's not going to be useful for people who can afford noxious staffs.
Well, I can't afford
Yeah.
a noxious staff, so there you go.
Oh, yeah, true.
I just burned
And-
my entire bank on a frickin' Ascension offhand.
Well, you
Anyway.
should
So-
sell it, and then you can buy a noxious staff.
Soon.
soon.
Or you
So,
can
yes.
just give it to me.
No.
And finally, we have the one I am most excited for because penguins.
Penguins.
Penguins. We are really
These-
hyped about this one.
These are the
Because-
Acheron mammoths, or Acheron mammoths.
They are
My
like,
pronunciations are
if you've
terrible.
seen Lord of the Rings, it is that.
They are the Oliphants.
Yeah, they're the Ollie pants.
Penguins.
I know, and they have penguins on them. It's hysterical. I believe there's two power forms of them. One has silver armor and one has gold armor. And the gold
Well,
armor is
what
like covered in riding penguins.
Yeah, what it is they designed an elite version, like, you know how most Slayer monsters nowadays have an elite version and a normal version, and they said that the elite one may or may not make into game. And the elite one better make it into game because it has penguins.
It has penguins riding on it, and it's hysterical.
Exactly.
Do we know what its attacks will be like?
Yeah, from the BTS video, they're going to hurt.
Nice.
I saw the JMod just take a 3.6k.
Yep.
Okay,
And
that hurts.
I kind of screamed because, yes, I think I take less damage in raids.
Yeah, Walter in the thread says Acheron mammoths are huge, lumbering beasts that live on a distant iceberg and have surprising speed. They're capable of trampling you into the ground and can smash you with their charge.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's
like,
all-
it is an elephant. It's gonna hit you like a truck.
It is indeed an elephant. It is actually, well, actually it's a mammoth. So,
It's a pachyderm.
yes, it is a pachyderm
It's gonna hit
All
you
it
like a
needs is
truck.
giant ears and to start flying.
with a no. No.
No, I want... Come on, I want a flying mammoth, because if penguins are riding on it, that would mean penguins are flying.
No.
The Penguin Air Force.
Banned for flight.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
Here.
it's also
Yes.
worth noting that all four of them drop key parts that can be combined together to open Raptor's chest for more goodies.
Yes.
Do we know if that each of them drops a specific part? So like one
Yes,
of
each
them drops one.
Each of them drops a specific part, I think.
Okay. So to combine a key, you need to get pieces from all 4, which is
And my last question is,
quite interesting.
do we need to boost? Like, can we boost in order to do these Slayer monsters? That's my question.
Yes, you can, because they're like all Slayer monsters, so you just
Nice.
need to have that level, so you can just.
Is there a +6 Slayer boost?
No, there's a +5.
There's a
Slayer boost.
+5.
All right, I need 1 Slayer level.
Get killing.
Yeah, I'll get going on that.
Get good. You
I'll
also
get
need to
good.
get good.
I do. I really do. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that's our cast.
I
Well,
do
yes,
believe
I,
so.
I need to mention that the Mammoths will be dropping a component for a new level 99 familiar that is
Oh, yeah.
best in slot.
Oh yeah.
How big was it? It was like 32 or something?
It's 32, so it's only 2 space increase over the Yak, but we don't know what the special is going to be.
Yeah.
And
if it's
to
like a
be
Yak
honest,
special, it will be good.
this is pretty much like, this is a case where it's either 2 slots is not going to make any difference, or it's going to make all the difference.
Or it's the special that makes all the difference. If it's like,
Yeah.
if you think, okay, so what the Pack Yak special is the winter storage, so it banks stuff. If this special is something like a magic note paper kind of esque special, or something along those lines, then it'd be.
Or it's like it banks the entire thing, like the entire inventory.
That's not good, because there's always stuff in your inventory that you don't want to have banked.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like you could bank multiple things.
Yeah,
Outlets.
but if that feels too similar to the other one, so it'd be something else, and it might what could they do for a special ability? Because the thing is, Pack Yaks are so cheap,
Yeah.
and these are not going to
Yeah,
be cheap. At least most likely, they could be.
Well, I don't think so, because they made it sound like it's not a 100% drop,
Yeah.
and just by the look of it, these are going to be very difficult to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, like these are very difficult Slayer monsters.
They all 4 of them are
they
not
are.
easy.
This is like super challenging stuff, and you need to actually be good at combat, which,
Yes,
that's
not everyone is, and it has caused some rage over the Wyverns.
Yep.
This is what separates the men from the boys,
Yes.
Yeah.
or the noobs from the elitists, I guess.
Pretty much. And everyone from Walter.
Rip. Apparently, Walter also mentioning regarding the key parts. Walter has killed roughly 110 of the wyverns, and has not gotten a key part. So the key parts are rare and are only on task.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have fun with that. Oh jeez.
Somebody died. So on that note, I think that's our cast.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's our cast.
All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Random Baby, for screaming.
Thank you, Shiraki, for also blowing everybody's ears out. We apologize to you ear users out there.
Oh, and Hablet has arrived for the cast.
Oh, perfect.
Hey,
Just in time.
So let's sign off.
But yeah, so we will be back at probably at the end of the month or beginning of next month for a recap of the Slayer monsters, the rest of this, as well as the December BTS. Everybody go check out our blog, seercast.wordpress.com. You can find the MP3s of the Seercast there, as well as videos and some Citrus Edition quest run-throughs and other quest run-throughs and other various content stuff from us.
I promise we will eventually do the Darkscape recording.
Eventually. We were planning on doing that last week, and then that didn't happen, I think.
That kind of fell through. I was actually hoping that we could do this after this recording, but then I realized that I have to go build a submarine.
Yeah, you should probably go build a submarine. But yeah, so everybody go check that out. Follow us on Twitter,
All right.
at Seercast, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching or listening.
Bye.